Not going to have a Kahoot for tonight. Rather, we're going to have a short recap for you to remember what was our lesson and for me to check if you can recall our lesson so that I can proceed to the next lesson right after this one. Okay? I have prepared set of questions which you'll be going to answer one by one. Okay? I will assign one question for each of you. So for tonight, I guess we the one that is not joining are Inda and Noel. Okay. Maybe they will just join later. They might just be late. So again, welcome everyone to our class. Let me share to you my screen and prepare for the questions that I'll be going to ask. Okay. Here we go. Alfonso, can you see my screen?
Yes.
All right. So we have the review to check if you do remember. Since you were only a one, two, three, four, five. There are five of you in the class tonight. There are one, two, three, four, five, and six questions. So you'll be going to answer one question each, okay? Shall we have the first question? Let us give the first question to Alfonso. Can you read the first question for me, Alfonso, please?
Okay. What are the different type of bones?
Yes, can you give me the different types of bones? Alfonso, can you give me the answer?
Yes.
Right? Can I hear it? What are the different types of bone?
Long bone. Long bone, then irregular bone.
What else? What was the first one that you answered? I didn't hear it well. Sorry.
Long bone.
Long bone. Next.
Irregular bone.
Yes. Next one. Three more.
Selamoid bone.
Sesamoid bone. That is correct. Last two. Last two. Long, irregular, sesamoid. What else? There are two more left.
Flat bone.
Come again.
Flat bone.
Flat bone. Correct. Last one. You got this.
Short bone.
Short bone. Very good. Good job, Alfonso. You remember all the different types of bone. Good. Very good, Alfonso. Next one. Even if you were absent last time. So you have the long bone, short bone, flat bone, sesamoid, and irregular bone. A total of five different types of bones according to shape. Very good, Alfonso. Excellent. Let us have the second question. Can I give the second question to Chicha? Chicha, can you read the second question for me, please? Chicha, I can hear you. I can't hear you, Chicha. Please on your microphone, Chicha. I cannot hear you.
What type of bone? Eh, yeah. What type of bone that is described as longer than wide? Teacher.
What type of bone that is described as longer than wide? Okay, thank you, Chicha. What's your answer for that question, Chicha?
Uh, I think long bone.
A type of bone that is longer and wide. Okay. It is referred to the long bone. Good job, Chicha. That is correct. The answer is long bone. So as long as you see a bone that is longer than its width, then it refers to the long bone. Nice one, Chicha. Very good. What about let us have number three? Shall we give number three to Honey? Honey, can you please read and answer question number three, please?
Yes, miss. A type
Right.
a type of bone that is approximately equal in terms of its length and width.
Okay.
Short bones.
Very good. That is correct. It is a type of bone that is equal approximately. It means that it is almost the same. Its length and its width is almost the same. And that refers to short bone. Very good, everyone. You're getting the correct answer. It means that you do remember our lesson. What about the fourth question? Shall we give this to Aaron? Aaron, can you read for me the fourth question, please?
Types of bone that
Oh, I'm so sorry. Okay, there.
type of bones that do not fit on the other types of bones.
Yes. What's your answer to that question, Aaron?
Irregular.
Very good. Very good, Aaron. That's a good job. You did remember, even if you come late in our class, that is correct. It is a type of bone that do not fit on the other type of bone that is irregular bone. Very good, Aaron. What about Mark? Can you read for me question number five, please?
Okay. Division of the skeletal system that includes the lower and the upper limb.
Yes. Can you give me the answer?
So apparently that bone is it's passive. There's two. It's also lesser than the bone that we move.
Come again, Mark. It is a division of the skeletal system that includes the lower and the upper limb. What's your answer again?
Appendic apple
All right. Your answer is appendicular bone, appendicular skeleton. Did I hear it right?
yes,
All right.
appendicular.
Yes. Very good. So there are only two divisions of the skeletal system. You know that, right? We have the axial skeleton and the appendicular skeleton. The
Oh, there's an
appendicular
actual
skeleton.
one.
Your answer is
Appendicular.
yes, the appendicular. Because the appendicular skeleton is the one is that includes the upper and the lower limb. Very good, Mark. Very good. Good retention for Mark. Very good. Very good, everybody. Now we have the Raka and the Yaka. Good evening.
So do the question number 6, please.
You're gonna do the question number six. All right. If you want to answer number six, okay, no problem. I give it to you, Mark. Go ahead.
What type of bone does the ribs belong?
Yes. What type of bone?
I think it's long bone.
The ribs belongs to what type of bone? According to Mark, it's the long bone. Do you agree, Alfonso, that the ribs belong to the long bone?
No.
No, then what's your
Long
answer,
bone.
Alfonso? If
Long bone.
it's if it's not a long bone, then what type of bone is the ribs?
Short bone?
Short? Alfonso, what's your answer? If it's not long, then what type of bone is it? Alfonso is still
Uh,
thinking. Should we have
I
Chicha?
am thinking
Chicha?
that
All right.
it's a strong bone. A strong bone.
Strong bone. Okay, Chicha, what's your answer with the last question?
Flat bone.
Again?
Flat bone.
Very good, Chicha. The type of bone where our ribs belong is flat bone. Okay? It is not long bone nor a short bone, but rather it is a flat bone. Because if you are going to look at ribs, the structure of it, you might be thinking that it's long because of its length. But unfortunately, it is flat bone since the appearance of that rib is flat. Okay, nice try, Mark and Alfonso. Good job, Chicha. Everybody, good job. You did a good job in our review. It's good that you do remember our lesson. Now it is a time for me to continue and then few more slides to this activity or to this lesson, and then we'll proceed to the next lesson. Okay? Can I ask one last question to Mark? Mark, can I ask one last question to you? Do you hear me, Mark?
Yes.
Okay, can I ask one question? How many bones? All right. How many bones are there in an actual skeleton?
Oh, actual skeleton 100 is 80?
Think it
182?
properly. Come again.
182?
182. The actual skeleton had 182. What about Honey? How many bone are there in an actual skeleton, Honey?
Um,
Actual skeleton.
I forget, Miss.
Aaron? Yes, yes, how many, Honey?
I forget.
You forgot. What about Aaron? Do you remember how many bones are there in the actual skeleton? Do you hear me, Aaron? How many bones are there in the actual skeleton? Do you remember?
I forget.
Mm-hmm. What about Alfonso is raising his hand? Let's have Alfonso. How many bones are there?
There are 206.
206, the actual skeleton, okay? We're referring the actual skeleton. According to Mark, it's 182. What about Chicha? Chicha, how many bone are there?
Uh, 80.
Come again?
80.
80.
Yes.
According to Chicha, it is 80 bones. Honey forgot, Aaron forgot. Daraka and Ayaka will not answer them yet, question them yet because they just joined the class. We'll just question them later. Now, let us find out who got the correct answer. Our actual skeleton has
182? 100?
180. How many are there? You have there on the screen already.
80.
Yeah, Chicha get the correct
I,
answer.
I thought the axial
Okay.
skeleton is the skeleton where we move, where it get a
Mhm.
bunch of bones that can move. And the appendicular skeletons is the one who is just passive and straight lines and protecting the ribs.
Yeah.
I thought it was like
Mm-hmm.
that, but no.
It's okay. It's a nice try. There you are. There are two divisions of the skeletal system. You have the axial, the one that is immovable. That is the one that you're talking about, Mark, the one that do not usually move, including the skull, the thoracic cage, including the rib cage, sternum, and the vertebrae, which consists of 80 bones. And the appendicular bone are the one that is movable, including the upper and the lower limb, which is consists of 126 bone. So 80 plus 126, a total of 206 bone that is found in an adult body. So that's still a nice try. Do not forget this one, okay? Always remember how many bones are there. So if you would just remember that axial skeleton had 80 bones, then you will just going to subtract that into 206, and then you will know that the appendicular has 126 bones. Okay? Now, let us proceed. We've done with the different types of bones, and we're done with this. So we'll proceed to this part. This one. Okay? So you already know that there are five types of bones. This time, let me recall the different parts of the bone. So you have in there the different parts of the bone, which has been discussed last meeting. The one that is found in the outside part of the bone, outside layer, it is what you call compact bone, which is considered to be hard and rigid so that our body would have framework, so that this bone would not be able to easily get break because of its outer layer, which is what you call compact bone. Now, the second layer is what you call the spongy bone. This spongy bone can be also called as cancellous bone. So named because of its holy appearance. As you can see, there are a lot of holes inside. These holes give us room for growth. When you were still a baby, your bone is still as long as this, but because of the hole, it's expanding and expanding until it become an adult bone. So this is how our bone look like. It has a lot of hole inside, and in the outside is rigid and hard. So again, the outer part of the bone is called compact bone, and the holy part is called cancellous or spongy bone. Next, type of tissue that form bones. These are the different tissues that forms our bone. This is the function of the two that I was reading a while ago. We have compact bone. Can you read for me the different um, function of the compact bone, Daraka? Okay, I guess Daraka doesn't hear me well. Shall I ask Aaron to please read for me the function of the compact bone, please?
Compact bones support the whole body, protect organs, provides lever for movement, stores and release chemical element, calcium, dense, smooth and very strong, contains living cells which help make repairs if bone injured or broken.
Thank you, Aaron. Good job. It's okay, Daraka, you were late. It's okay. So we have here, these are the different functions of the compact bone. Aside from the fact that it give us the harden our bone, that would not allow it to easily get break. This compact bone is also a lot of function. Of course, number one, it supports the whole body because without this hard part of the bone, then will be easily get crumpled. And it protects the organ. It provides liver. When we say liver, it's like an attachment wherein other bone is being attached and it allow us for movement. Stores and release calcium that it's very important in our body. Dense, very strong, contains living cells which help repairs a bone injury or broken. Yes, they do. Just like the marrow of the bone, they are the one that produces red blood cell. At the same time, they do regenerate in order to repair broken bone. So this compact bone is quite very important and it serves a lot of functions in our body. So next, we'll have cancellous or spongy bone. So we have also a lot of function for the cancellous and spongy bone. Can we have um Honey to read for me the cancellous and spongy bone function, please, Honey?
So, spongy bone epithelial occurs at the ends of long bones, proximal to joints and within the interior of vertebrae. Spongy and lightweight, also like compact bone, contains living cells which help make repairs if a bone is injured or broken.
All right. Thank you, honey. You're doing good in your reading. Thank you. You're getting good. All right. So cancellous bone, it is the same as a compact bone, but the only thing is that the cancellous bone is much lighter and spongy. Unlike the compact bone, which is quite heavy. This cancellous or spongy is lighter in weight, and at the same time, it usually attach or occur at the end of the long bones. So it is found interior of vertebrae. When we see interior, it's usually found inside of the vertebrae. So this is uh, how the cancellous bone or spongy bone works in our body, specifically in our bone. So these two are very important, and the difference between them is that the compact is quite heavy and hard. It serves a lot of function. The cancellous is quite lightweight and it is soft. Okay, I hope you won't forget the difference because my next meeting will have another Kahoot game which would serve as a quiz for this part of the lesson. Okay, let us proceed to the next one. This is the dark long bone diagram. So you have already seen this one. So this is how it looks like. The outer part, you see, this is the compact bone. The one that is not wholly. It doesn't have hole. But the one that has a lot of hole, it's called cancellous bone. And the one at the middle, in the yellow, let me annotate first. Okay. This one, the yellow one, this is the marrow. So this is at the middle of the bone. While this, a lot of hole, this is what you call the cancellous bone. And the one that is at the outside part, this is the compact bone. Where if it refers to a long bone, this part of the bone, this is what you call the epiphysis. If you still remember this epiphysis, and this part of the bone is called diaphysis. Okay, so this is how our bone looks like, and it is what they're made of. Do not forget that one, okay? Next. ligaments. We are now down to the different connective tissue. Have you heard the word connective tissue? Anyone who have heard the word connective tissue? What do you think is the function of the connective tissue? Anyone who has an idea of what a connective tissue is? Last time we had discussed about the type of tissue. We had the smooth muscle tissue, the cardiac muscle tissue, skeletal muscle tissue. We also have the epithelial tissue, and we also have the connective tissue. Who among you here has an idea of what is a connective tissue? Do you have an idea what is a connective tissue, Alfonso?
Maybe connective tissue is the tissue that connects with bone or maybe another tissue.
You got a point on that. Yeah, according to Alfonso, it is a connective tissue that is the one that attaches to bone and to other part. That is a very good point. You got it exactly that a connective tissue is the one that is attached to the bone. Or specifically, when we say connective tissue, it's like imagine a sandwich. This is the bread. In the other palm is the bread. This palm at the top is a bone, and this palm at the middle is another type of bone. The one that is put at the center as a spread is what you call the connective tissue. They are at the middle of a two bone. They're the one that attaches bone because what do you think is the reason why there should be a connective tissue between two bones? Mark, do you have an idea? What do you think is the reason why instead of letting the bone to be attached directly to each other, they still need to have a connective tissue in between them? What do you think is the reason why behind that? Do you hear me, Mark?
Yes.
Okay, what do you think? Do you have an idea why? Why do you think is there a need for our body to have a connective tissue between two bones? Why is it not allowed to have our bones directly attached to each other?
Um, well, we need the tissue so it can protect our organs.
To protect our organs, okay? That's also a good point. You got the idea.
But we can see that okay, the outer bone was, but the other bone is like it's protecting the one the inside of the bone, and the inside of the bone protects the organ. They protect each other,
They
and
protect each other.
the
That's
organs protect their system, and the system protect their heart.
okay, and the system protect the organs. Okay, that is a very good point. You got an idea, Mark. What about can we hear from do you have any idea why there is a need for our body to have a connective bone that would attach our bone rather than directly attaching our bone together, honey? Do you
Yes.
have an idea, honey? Honey, do you have an idea why there is a need for us to have a connective tissue between our bone? Who else had an idea? Honey is still thinking. Mm-hmm. Nobody got the idea? Okay, let me give to you an example. Okay. So if this is our bone and this is another bone and there is no connective tissue in between them, what do you think will happen to the bone when they were rubbed together?
Um, maybe maybe they will be hot,
They will be hot, okay?
but
There
sometimes it
could be
will be broke.
there could be friction that will happen, right?
Yes.
And until it become broken. What else? If these are both bone only, do you think this bone can move?
No.
They cannot move because, as we all know, the outer layer of the bone is made up of hard and rigid part layer, which is called the compact bone. The reason why there is a connective tissue in between bones, it is because, as if, for example, this is the bone and this is the other bone. We need to have a connective tissue between them to avoid the bone from rubbing towards each other. Because if they rub towards each other, the bone will scratch. And when it scratch, it would be very painful to our body. And if there is no connective tissue that is attached to it, our bone cannot move because there will no flexion that will happen. Whereas if there is a connective tissue, it will allow us to bend, to stretch, or even flex. But if there is none, then this will only keep rubbing and rubbing until it will become broken. So that is the reason why there is what you call connective tissue. There are different types of connective tissue. You have ligaments, joints, and tendons. Those three types of connective tissue differ on their attachment. Let us have first the ligaments, okay? Let me read to you what is the attachment and the function of the ligament. Ligaments, the tissue that connects bone to other bone. Remember that one. Bone to other bone, that is the ligament. Next, this one. If you can see this, okay, we have in here, this is your pelvis bone that is found in, or your hip bone. So the hip bone is attached to the other bone of our body using the connective tissue that is called ligament. This one, the one that is being circled is called ligament. As you can see, the bone is not directly attached to the pelvic bone. The femur is not directly attached. You have in there. So that we can move our legs. Next, there, the lighter color, that's the ligaments. Connects bone to bone. Another one. There you have it. Next. You also have that
So it
superior pubic
actually the
ligament.
bone is so actually
Come
the bone
again.
is so actually the bone is separated.
Yeah, they are separated and connected by what you call connected tissue. Okay? There are different types of connective tissue. They do not directly attach towards each other. The bone is not directly attached toward each other. They are separated. In between them is what you call connective tissue. And one of which is the one that is called ligaments. So ligament is the one that attach bone to other bone. You will find out what is the other attachment, okay? Let us see more there. All of the lighter part, those are ligaments. As you can see, they are in between two bones. Next. So if the ligament attachment is bone to bone, we have the next connective tissue. That is what you call joints. Okay? Joints, location where two or more bones make contact, as you can see. This is the joint capsule. Okay, allow me to annotate for a while. We have here the joint capsule, as you can see here. As the definition says, location where two or more bone make contact. That you can see, this is the humerus, the upper arm bone. We have here the radius. We have here the ulna. How many bones do you see in here? How many bones do you see in here? Nayaka and Daraka. May I hear from you, boys? How many bones do you see in this part of the bone? The raka and the yaka. This, the humerus, the radius, and the ulna. How many bones do you see? Is there one, two, or three bones? Do you have a problem with your audio, the raka and the yaka? I cannot hear you well. Okay,
There are
anyway.
two bones, miss.
Okay. There are how many?
3 bones.
All right, very good. There are three bones, namely the humerus, thank you, the raka and yaka, radius, and ulna. This three bone is not directly attached to each other, but rather they are attached using the connective tissue that is called joint. As you can see, the blue one, this is the one that allows the attachment of this bone. And you have the lighter color, the sky blue, that's another connective tissue. It's called the cartilage. You will find out later what's the difference between this, okay? So joints allows movement and provide mechanical support. So there are different types of bones that is attached in our body. It depends upon the location of the bone where it is attached into. So in short, joint is the one that connect two or more bone. But if we say a type of connective tissue that connects bone to other bone, that is what you call ligaments. Okay? Let's proceed to the next one. There is a cartilage cushion in between the bones to keep them from touching directly, which would hurt. Okay, so as you can see, we have here the cartilage. This one, the articular cartilage. This is the cushion. It means that it acts like a foam that would not allow our bones to directly rub each other. Because if the bone do touch each other, that would be very painful in our body. So that is the reason why it needs to have cushion. So the cartilage act as a cushion in our bone. Next, these are the different types of bone. So number one, ball and socket. Okay, this one, the ball and socket, as you can see, it sometimes refers to us. Have you seen a doorknob? Everybody?
Yes.
Yes, you do see a doorknob, right? The doorknob in your door looks like the same as the appearance of the ball and socket. You have here the one. If you're going to detach the doorknob, this is how it looks like. The bowl and socket, it as a socket inside this, and the bowl is inserted to it. And this bowl and socket is usually found in our arm, including this part of the body. These ball and socket joints are the one that facilitates the greatest movement in our body, such as extending your arm, walking. They're the one that produces the biggest movement, greatest movement. So without the ball and socket joints, we cannot flex and extend our arms. This is how important it is. It looks like a doorknob. Next one. Let us proceed first. Let us skip first by both. Okay. Let us go directly to this one. Hinge. Hinge join. Okay. If the ball and socket looks like the doorknob of your door, the hinge from the term hinge, it acts like the hinge in your door. Do you see the hinge in your door? Do you do you know which part of the door is the hinge? Do you know what a hinge is?
Not really.
Not
Yes,
really.
miss.
What Daraka? Yes, according what about Mark? Do you know what a hinge is? Are you still there, Mark? Hinge. What about Aaron? Do you know what a hinge is?
Oh.
No. What about Chicha? Hinge.
I know.
Ah, you know, all right. It's good. Honey, do you know what a hinge is? Honey, can you hear me?
Yes, Adi is doing something.
Mm-hmm. What about Alfonso? Do you know what a hinge is?
No.
You do not know, Alfonso? You look at your door. Yes?
Yes, that
Do
I
you
know.
know? All right. You know or you don't know?
Yes, I didn't know.
Ah, you know. Okay, I see. I'm sorry. A hinge is found in, let's say, the one. If this is the wall in your house, this is the hinge is the one that attaches the door to the wall that allows it to open and close, right? So that is the purpose of the
Oh,
hand
yeah, yeah,
joints.
yeah,
That
yeah, yeah.
one.
Now I know.
Yeah, you got it. Okay.
Yeah,
So
now
this
I
hand
remember.
joints, yes, this hand joints is usually found also in our kneecap. It allows, if this is our knee, then it allows to, let's say, extend and then go back to its normal position like that. That's the hinge. It's very important. So it's called hinge joints. It facilitates movement. And the next one, pivot. From the word pivot, it looks like a ring and it allows us to make a circular motion, just like our head. We cannot do 360, but we can do 180 degrees. It allow us to circulate our head, including our, you see, our wrist. We can do that. But there is also another joint that is named as gliding that basically works in our um carpals. Okay? Do not forget this type of joints. Next one. Here. Tendons. Okay? We are done with ligaments. What was the second one? Joints, cartilage, and now we're done with the tendons. Okay, look at this. I want you to look at the picture. This is the bone, this one. Okay, this white one is called the tendons, and this red one is called the muscle. Okay, so this is how the tendon works. It is the one that attach muscle to bone. Okay? Tendon attaches muscle to bone. They are made out of tough connective tissue and are capable of stretching to allow for movement. Okay, so tendons, in short, is the one that connects bone to our muscle. Okay, now, quick review. Let us have a quick review. What do you call this part of the bone? Can we have it? Chicha, what do you call that? That is pointed by the arrow?
Cancellous bone.
Very good. That's the cancellous or the sponge bone. What about this, Alfonso? Oh, I'm sorry. I got the answer. What's the answer for this?
Compact bone.
Compact bone.
And
You saw
actually, I
it.
didn't see the answer yet.
All right. I know you know. It's the compact bone. Thank you. Very good. Oh, last one. This one. Let's have Aaron. What do you call this? The one that is being circled. Attaches bone to bone. What do you call the connective tissue that attaches bone to bone?
Ligament.
All right, it's called the ligaments.
It already
Okay,
gives the
is
answer anyways.
yeah, the answer is just above. Aaron didn't able to show it. It's okay. So that's the one that attaches bone to bone. Next, let us allow Aaron to answer this one, Alfonso. Okay, let's give this to
Okay.
Aaron. All right, what do you call this? What are these, Aaron? The ball and socket, pivot, and the hinge. These are the types of, what is this? Aaron is still thinking. I can see it. What about, all right, it's the joints, type of joints. Okay. Next, this one, section. So that includes your axial skeleton from the skull down to your vertebral column. Then there you have it, skull, vertebral column, and the rib cage. That's your axial skeleton. Next, appendicular, upper, arms and hand extremities, and leg feet, the lower extremities, including the shoulder girdle. Do not forget it, okay? And the hips. So that's it. Next meeting, we'll have a short review again and we'll have a short quiz, okay? Do not forget our lesson. Recall, recall, recall. We'll have a short recap and then we'll have our quiz, okay? Do you have questions? Questions?
No,
I can
no,
no
miss.
longer see Chicha and, I mean, sorry, I can no longer see, uh, okay, honey is eating. That is why. It's okay, honey. I cannot see Mark. Mark did not hear my last question. Anyway, thank you so much, everyone, for joining. Since it's already time and we have a next class after this, I hope to see you again next meeting, okay? Aaron, Daraka, honey, Alfonso, of course, Mark, Chicha. Okay, thank you so much, everyone, for joining. I'll see you again next meeting, okay? Have a good weekend and enjoy the rest of the day. Good night, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thank you, teacher.
Goodbye.
You.
Goodbye.
Bye. Thank you, miss.
Thank you, Miss. Bye
You're welcome. Goodbye.
bye.